I'm here with Captain Sandy Melvin to talk about how the coronavirus has affected the fishing industry on Boca Grande. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Nancy. Thanks for stopping by. Well, in a nutshell, we've been body slammed, like a lot of businesses in town. We're looking at right now, lost about 130 separate fishing trips from the month of April and May, and more cancellations coming every day. And it's mainly due to the fact that people can't travel, can't get here, have nowhere to stay. The Gasparilla Inn, of course, is closed. The Inlet Motel is closed. Home rentals all shut down. So what few charters we are getting right now are mostly local people who have been sheltered in place, want to get out of the house. We've all been practicing our social distancing, so the majority of my clients that are local are comfortable with continuing to go. So, you know, we're dealing with it best we can. It's an unusual situation, certainly something that we never anticipated would happen. But you know, we're dealing with it, and we got a great community around here that's all doing what they're supposed to be doing, so we're riding it out. Unfortunately, I did have to cancel the Gasparilla Island Kids Classic Tarpon Tournament this year, which is a very difficult decision because we do some great things with that event. We had 150 kids participate last year, but we do have a very large tent and Camp Margaritaville and fun and games and registrations and all those kinds of things that we just can't accomplish. And a lot of our sponsors would be coming in from out of town and coming in from all parts of the country, and there again, there's travel restrictions. So we have decided to cancel the event this year. However, Boca Grande Charities, which is the foundation that operates the Gasparilla Island Kids Classic, we're still going to be able to give away about $20,000 to charity.
That's wonderful. To
maintain our charitable partners that we have that have come to depend on this event for funding. So thank you to all the people that have supported Boca Grande Charities and are going to allow us to do that.
So I'm guessing that anyone that is going out on a charter now is really happy to be able to be out and on the water.
Absolutely. People are itching to get out and about. You know, and we're doing the common sense things. Each time I do a charter, we scrub the boat down, bleach and all, clean the boat up good. I keep hand sanitizers on my boat. We generally wear a buff. I don't have one on now, but generally we wear a buff face mask when we're out on the water. And we don't do a lot of physical contact when we're out there. We're just fishing and you're in the breeze and the outdoors. You know, the risk is a very minimal risk. So the people that are comfortable going know we're taking precautions. I know that the people that book me are taking precautions, so it's not like I'm taking a tourist from New York that just flew into town today, you know. So we're all taking common sense precautions, and we're getting out there and we're going fishing. We got to live our lives, you know. That's my opinion. We have to get out there and we have to get about, and we're going into the third week of stay-at-home order here in Florida, and I mean, the first week was tough, the second one's tougher, third week is really tough, fourth week's going to start getting unbearable. So I think you're going to see some restrictions opening up soon, I would think.
So I want to ask, how is the coronavirus affecting you personally? And because of the coronavirus and how it's impacting your business, do you ever just go out on the water yourself just for peace?
Oh, I'm out every day. Just every day I'm on the water, whether I have clients or not. I'm actually very fortunate. One of my good clients and friends, family, is here riding the storm out, and one of their young sons is a sophomore at Villanova, and they've been fishing with me since they were about 8 years old. And he's a great little fisherman, or I say little fisherman, now he's a sophomore in college. But he's a great fisherman, and he's here, so I've actually been able to go out and fish this time of year myself, and I have him pole the boat around and take me fishing. He serves as he's a little bit in training, he's guide in training, he's a great fisherman in his own right, but kind of showing him some of my old tricks that I've gleaned over 30-some years of being around this area, and some of the places you can go and where you can't go on certain tides and this and that. So he and I have been out fishing almost every day whenever I'm not doing the few guide trips that I'm doing. So yeah, I'm out there. As far as business-wise, you know, it's just crushing business-wise. You know, it's a very trying time. We're not really sure, you know, where it's going to lead as far as a business goes. You know, for me, a self-made person, I mean, I came to Boca Grande with nothing but everything I owned in my car, and we've been able to fortunately grow the business up to where, you know, we own the shop here and the building, and you know, so we have some trying times ahead of us. So hopefully, we got a lot of support in the community, and we'll see what happens. But we're confident. We'll be fine.
That's great. That's great that you're able to get out yourself and you could enjoy the fishing aspect.
And it's the best time of
Right.
year right now. We've got tarpon here, we've got snook redfish, speckled trout, there's kingfish in the Gulf. Fishing is absolutely great right now. Weather's been really good, and nobody to take. So from a business standpoint, it's horrible, but from just a fisherman's standpoint, I love it. I get to go out and actually fish this time of year when I haven't been able to fish this time of year in 30 years. So it's wonderful to be able to get out there myself, and silver lining to every cloud, right?
There is a silver lining to every cloud. I'm here with Vicki Winterer from the Boca Grande Women's Club to find out how the coronavirus has impacted the Women's Club, and also some steps they're taking to still bring things to the community. So it's nice to meet you.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here.
So tell me, how has this impacted the Women's Club?
Well, the first thing that happened was Dr. Irvin was one of our speakers in early March, and it was at the very beginning of the widespread impact of the COVID-19 virus, and he described to us what the early symptoms were, and if we were having any of those symptoms, we needed to stay home and not go to the clinic, that they were going to have people call the clinic first rather than exposing people. Well, our big event of the spring time is the spring fair, the bike path and the spring fair, and that was scheduled for March 28th this year. So I called Dr. Hannah at the clinic and spent some time discussing whether or not we should go ahead with this activity. And at that time, she said that widespread exposure would really impact the island of Boca Grande, and she thought that we should do everything we could to prevent its exposure, or widespread exposure. So we quickly canceled the spring fair, even though that's disappointing to a lot of families who are here for spring break, and as well as our volunteers. Lots of volunteers come and enjoy working on it. So we quickly canceled the spring fair, and we canceled a few other events that we had planned for March. But the Women's Club was really lucky because most of our major fundraising for the year had been completed.
Oh, that's
The
great.
gala was held at the end of January, and the scholarship funds had been raised through the gala, and a lot of our community grant funds have been raised. So we were in a good, strong financial position, and that was a fortunate.
I'm sure that made you all
Timing-wise.
feel better because
Yes.
because you were missing out on the bike parade and that whole event.
Yep.
That at least you had that other part done.
Yes. So, and the spring fair and the bike path parade is really our gift to the community. We don't look for that for part of our fundraising. And the fundraising had been done.
Right. Yes, and I know the community really loves the bike parade. We had a lot of fun when we did the bike parade.
Good.
I was a cheetah in the bike parade.
Oh, good. At last year's the safari.
Yes, I
Good
did.
for you.
It was a lot of fun. So, what is the relief fund?
The relief fund is meant to, we like to think of it as a Band-Aid. It's not a long-term fix, but it's a Band-Aid that can help workers on the island get through a period of time when they've really lost their source of income. So it's been very rewarding for all of us in the Women's Committee to be able to take some of the funds that we would normally grant to other community organizations, and we've taken some of those funds and put them aside for the Emergency Relief Fund. And there's a task force that is receiving applications for that fund and giving away the money.
So a local business could apply
Yes.
to the Women's Club
Yes.
for the funds?
Yes.
Is that information on a website?
Yes, the Boca Grande Women's Club website has full information, and there's an application form, and the applications have been filled out by almost 100 businesses and people already.
Just on the island?
Yeah, just on the island.
Wow.
And the application form is mostly for individuals. but it also directs people to businesses to other forms of relief. And our application asks them if they've applied for unemployment compensation and if they've applied for the PPP, which is payroll protection. And it really steers businesses to other sources of
That may
income.
be more appropriate for them?
Well, not more appropriate, but more extensive.
So what prompted the Women's Club to do the Relief Fund?
Well, we've always thought that our mission is for the improvement of the Boca Grande community, and we've been very successful in our fundraising. Boca Bargains does a great job, the Gala does a great job, and we have over 300 members now who work very hard and, you know, pay their dues and come to all the activities. So we've had a reserve fund in case of a hurricane or in case of some other disaster that happened in Boca Grande in the Boca Grande community, and this really is impacting everybody.
Yes.
So the executive board really decided, rather than give out some smaller community grants, they wanted to reserve monies to help give immediate relief to the workers on the community. And it's a great use of our funds. We really think
Absolutely.
it's worthwhile.
That is a very worthwhile endeavor, especially for the Boca Grande community,
Yeah.
where there are so many small businesses that are impacted, as we've talked about, by the coronavirus.
And the Women's Club has been able to set aside money so we can pay for our scholars. We have about 50 college kids who we pay every semester for 8 semesters while they're in college. And we put aside money next year so nobody will miss their grants for their college scholarships next year. And we've put aside money to get through next year while we do our fundraising with Boca Bargains and the Gala.
Well, Boca Grande is very blessed to have the Women's Club on their side during the coronavirus and also at all the other times of the year. So I want to thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us.
You're
and
welcome.
Stay safe, and
Thank
we
you.
will talk to you soon in better days.
Yes, you be well.
Thank you.
you.